Hello and welcome or welcome back. Thank you so much for checking out my YouTube channel, Yoga with Danae. I'm Danae. Nice to meet you. If we haven't met before, you're very welcome here, and I do appreciate the support. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and help this yoga community grow. I do appreciate it. And like the video, all that good stuff. I'm still pretty new to this YouTube channel. I created it back in 2020, but it took some time for me to really, I guess, just get over my own fear of putting myself out there in this way. Although I have put myself out there through social media in the past years, this is still a little bit uncomfortable for me. So probably obvious through the videos, but again, I appreciate your support. Thank you for being here. We're going to get into a nice hip opening and heart opening series of postures this evening. We're going to work toward a frog pose, which is a deep hip opener, and in that frog pose we'll have an option to open the heart up and kind of get into that low back a little bit. So anyway, moving right along, we'll get started shortly. You're going to want to have a ball, a strap, and a block handy for this practice. I have mine off to the side. You can do the same with yours. I think that's it. Again, my name is Danae, and you are very welcome here. We're going to get started in a child's pose this evening. So go ahead and come around to your knees. Come around to all fours, actually. And we'll start by just kind of checking in with the knees being underneath the hips, and then walk the hands forward as the hips drop back toward the heels. Now here you have some options. I always like to kind of press into my hands, wiggle the hips back a bit, really get into it, and then decide, do I want to round my low back and get that release, or do I want to extend my spine? I want to extend my spine tonight, so I am going to widen my knees out. If you want that rounding of the low back, keep your knees together. Go ahead and walk those hands as far as possible away from you, and rest your forehead on your mat. Continue to melt the hips back to the heels. And just begin to check in with yourself, noticing how your body feels here this time around. Check in with thoughts, feelings, emotions. Labeling these observations neither good or bad, positive or negative, they just are. Arriving with full acceptance. Just give yourself permission to come as you are. Start to notice the breath now. Begin with 3 deep cleansing breaths. We'll take those in through the nose, fill from the belly, up through the ribs, into the chest. And then an open mouth exhale as you release from top to bottom, opposite of how you fill up. And now we begin. Go ahead, release any breath you're holding. And inhale. Exhale, open mouth. Breathe in. Open mouth, sigh it out. Last one here. And let it go. Now continue with deep circular breath. In through the nose and out through the nose. If it's difficult to breathe out through the nose, try gently parted lips. Deep breath in. Exhale onto your right cheek. 3 breaths here. Breathe in, lift up and turn to that opposite cheek. Exhale down. 3 breaths. Back to child's pose. Forehead to mat. Exhale here. Inhale, now walk the hands in. Rise up. Tabletop position. Stack shoulders over wrist. Hips over knees. We'll take a deep breath in. Cow pose. Drop the belly. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the chin. Lift the tail. Cat pose with the exhale, arch, tuck the chin, tuck the belly, tuck the tail. Moving here to the rhythm of your breath. Cow on the inhale, and cat on the exhale. One more cycle, deep breath. Next, we're going to go ahead and walk the hands forward just a bit. Come into a modified plank. So creating about a 45-degree angle with the body. Go ahead and lift those toes up. Kind of flare the toes, a little pointy foot there. Tuck the low belly up and in, and then broaden between your shoulder blades. Kind of separate them out. Almost a little bit of a concaving on the front side of your body here. Deep breath in, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, let's bend the elbows and slowly hug the elbows in and lower down to your nose, your chest. Go ahead and lower the feet behind you. Press into the top of the feet. Lift the thighs away from the mat so that you can level off through the hips. Now keep the hands where they're about under the shoulders here. As you inhale, start to lift your forehead and heart away from your mat. Now we're going to kind of squeeze the shoulder blades in and slide them down the spine. We have little to no weight in the hands. Keeping that low rib on the mat here. Let's take one more deep breath in. As you exhale, lower down. Inhale, let's peel up, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, baby cobra. And exhale down. Turning onto that right cheek again. I'm just going to scoot back onto my mat here. Turn onto that right cheek. Extend that right arm out to the side. Left hand under the shoulder. Press into that hand and start to roll open here. Opening that right shoulder. You can rest your head on that block if you like. You can keep the legs stacked and straight. You can bend the knees for support and balance. Or you can roll over to the degree that you place that left foot behind the right leg with that knee up to the ceiling. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. 2 more breaths. Go ahead and fill up with breath. Exhale, return to your stomach. Return to the forehead. Slide that right hand in. And we'll take a breath in, coming up to that baby cobra. Exhale, release it down, and come onto that left cheek. Extend through the left arm. Right hand under shoulder. Press into that hand and roll it open. Opening that left shoulder this time. Head again can come to a block or to your mat. Legs straight and stacked or bent for that balance and support. Or again, possibly turning into a space where you can place that right foot behind the left leg, knee to the ceiling. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. 2 more here. Breath in as you prepare to exit. And breath out brings you back onto your stomach. Onto the forehead. Slide that left hand in under the shoulder. Press into the tops of the feet. Shift the hips. Settle into center. This time, I'm going to invite you to go a little deeper into your cobra, maybe going into a full cobra, or you can stay in that baby cobra or somewhere between. Breathe in, start to lift that heart away. Mindful of the low back here. We don't want to compress those vertebrae. We also don't want to lift the shoulders up to the ears. We want to drop those shoulders down and back. 3 breaths. Final breath. Deep inhale. Exhale, slowly roll down to your mat. Down to the chest and forehead. Inhale here. And exhale. Breathe in. Let's press up and away from our mat. Coming into that tabletop position. Find a space on your mat that you can spread the fingers wide. Press into the heels of the hands. Curl the toes under. And we'll lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Now we do want to lift the sits bones back to the diagonal of the room where the ceiling and wall meet behind you. Your knees can be bent to make this happen, because if we press back too much or work to straighten the legs, we might cause the hamstrings to pull those sits bones down. We want to keep them lifted, almost like in a cow position. space between the shoulders here. Belly up and in. Deep breaths. Next inhale, send that right heel to the sky. Exhale, bend the knee, stack the hip open. See if you can stay square through the chest. Really just twisting open at the hip here. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, lengthen back through the heel, level the hips. Exhale, step that foot all the way between the hands. Once that ankle is under the knee, drop your back knee down to the mat. You can flatten the top of the foot or keep the toes curled under. We're going to stay on the fingertips for a moment. Press into the top of that foot and lift the knee. Lift and lower. Breathe. One more time, lift. As you lower, really melt into those hips. Now we'll breathe in, let's hands come to the thigh. Once you're here, take a moment just to settle in. See if you can drive that right femur into the hip socket and level off through the hips a bit. Once you've leveled, see if you can melt deeper into your low lunge. Hands might come to the heart, palms touching. Take a deep breath in and out. Next inhale, see if you can lift that heart, shoulders back, head back. Lifting out of the low spine here. One more inhale. Exhale, hands come down to your mat. We're going to start to shift the hips back. Your hands can come to blocks if you have them. And your hips can stay high. We want to keep those hips level, or we can drop the hips lower here. Now, if you drop low, you really want to be aware that that right hip isn't dropping down. You want to keep it up, even with the opposite hip. A breath in to lift the heart, and a breath out to walk out over that straight right leg. Bring those toes in toward your face. Feeling this in the back of that right leg. Next inhale, let's crawl forward, coming back into that low lunge. This time we're going to work that right hand to the inside of that foot and toe heel out of it. Now we're finding our way into our lizard here. You might even press onto the top of that back foot, adjusting that leg. And then with that right foot out, you can stay up on the hands or maybe bring the forearms down to blocks or your mat. If that's enough, just stay here and breathe. If you'd like a little more depth, keep the ankle flexed and rock onto the outer edge of that foot. 3 deep breaths here. Now you can stay exactly as you are, or go a little deeper. Maybe coming back up onto the hands for this if you're on the forearms. Maybe staying on the forearm of that left hand, palm down. Bend that left knee, and then reach back with your right fingertips, finding a bind here. This is just an option. I encourage you to take 3 breaths wherever you are. Spiraling the heart open, creating space between the clavicles. We don't want to drop and dump the weight into that left shoulder. Press up out of that elbow. One more inhale. As you exhale, gently release. We don't want to slingshot the leg. Bring that right hand down to the mat. Press up and start to toe heel that foot back in. We're going to press into the hands, curl the back toes under, lift that knee away from the mat, and we'll go ahead and find a dragonfly twist. Breathe in, reach through those right fingertips. Stay for the exhale. Two more breaths. Deep breath in. Exhale, hand to mat. We're going to take it up to 3 like dog on the inhale. And exhale, down dog. Let's take a moment here, finding gentle movement, pedaling through the heels, swaying the hips, finding whatever you need. One more breath. Inhale, left leg high, heel to the sky. Exhale, bend that knee, stack the hip open. Again, see if you can level off through the chest. Inhale, lift the heel, level the hips. Exhale, step between the hands. And again, we're going to drop that back knee down. You can keep the toes curled under or flatten the top of the foot. Stay on the fingertips and start to lift and lower that knee. Continue to breathe. Last one, lift it up and lower down. Inhale, go ahead and rise up, hands to thigh. And again, we just want to check in, see if we can drive that left femur, that left thigh bone into the hip socket and level off. Once you've leveled, you can start to melt deeper into the hips. And again, hands may come to the heart. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, maybe lift up, open the heart. And exhale, bring those hands down to the mat. Let's start to straighten the leg, heading to half split. And again, you have the option to keep the hips high, or you can go lower, all the way down to the heel. See if you can lift up through the heart, lengthen the spine, deep breath in. Exhale over that left leg. Breathe here as you flex the toes toward the face. Next inhale, crawl forward. Once you're there, you're going to start to toe heel that left foot out. Hello, Monstruo. Hi. Once you've toe heeled that foot out, again, you might press into the top of the back foot. Find that levelness of the hips that we were looking for there. And then you can stay on the hands or come down to those forearms, either on blocks or your mat. And again, you can stay with the foot on the floor or maybe rock onto the outer edge of that foot, going deeper into the hip. If you're doing that, having the ankle flexed is going to help keep you safe. 3 breaths here. Again, you can stay just as you are. If you want to go deeper, you can come up onto the hands or stay on that right forearm. Place that hand down on the mat. Bend that right knee and reach back with the left fingertips. Maybe clasping the foot or ankle. And again, we want to spiral the heart open here, and we aren't dumping the weight. 3 breaths. One more inhale. And exhale, gentle release. Try not to slingshot the foot. Left hand comes to the mat, right hand as well. Bring that foot down and start to toe heel it in. We're again going to curl the back toes under, lift that knee, find that dragonfly twist. Breathe in. One more inhale. Exhale, hands to mat, and we'll kick it up. 3-leg dog, breath in. Exhale, toes to mat. And again, just find some gentle movement in your down dog. And bring it to stillness. Take a deep breath in. And with the exhale, knees to mat. Let's take a moment here with the toes curled under, and you can lift the hips up, or to make it a little more intense, I always have to pull my pinky toes out. They don't quite reach, so keep those curled out. Maybe sink the weight of the hips down onto the heels. We're opening the feet here, getting a stretch in the toes. Keep that nice tall spine. Breathe into it. This can be very intense. One more breath. Now let's bring our hands back down to the floor. Give those feet a little ploppy plop on the floor there. Now our next stop is going to be one of 3 positions. If you have any hip or knee issues, I encourage you to take Happy Baby on your back. I'll show that one first. If your hips and knees are okay, you're going to work on first Baby Frog and finally Full Frog, okay? So Full Frog can be quite intense. And if you're on a hard floor, I'm on carpet, so I don't have to worry about my knees sliding. But if you're on a hard floor, you're going to want to turn sideways on your mat, and that's going to keep your inner knees from just sliding out farther than you're ready to go, okay? Listen up when it's time to come out of these, because I'm going to give some cueing that will help keep you from dragging your knees and possibly causing undue pain and maybe bruising or carpet burn. So, without further ado, let's get into this. If you're choosing that Happy Baby, you're simply going to find your way down to your back gently and gracefully. So just roll it back. Once you have arrived there, slide your shoulder blades down. Bring the knees in toward the armpits, flex the ankles, and wrap your hands around the feet. Keep your head and shoulders on the floor. And the goal is going to be to try to get that low back to press into the floor, as well as you let the weight of the hands draw the knees in closer to the armpits. Okay, so Happy Babies, breathe there. Those of you who want to go for your full frog, for your Baby Frog, we're going to come onto our knees. Bring your big toes together and go ahead and walk your knees out a bit. We're going to want to keep the knee in alignment with the hip here, and we can start to walk the hands forward. Now, let those knees come out as much as they're going to. And again, we want to try to keep that knee out from the hip. It's okay, and it can feel really juicy to kind of rock back and forth. All right, so if you're comfortable here with those big toes together in your baby frog, you can stay just as you are, of course, or bring the ankles out behind the knees, placing the inner arch of the foot down to the floor. Now you can stay up on the hands as I am, or keeping the belly tucked. We don't want to let that low back just sway. You can come onto the forearms. And we're going to breathe here for 10 breaths, okay? 10 deep cleansing breaths. Now, as we meet the intensity of this posture, I'll give you a little something to reflect upon. There's a scripture that I've always loved, especially as crazy as this world is around us. It says, "Do not be conformed to the patterns of this world. Rather, be transformed by the renewal of your mind." One of the most beautiful elements of this practice is that renewal of the mind. It comes breath by breath, moment by moment. Do not be conformed to the patterns of this world. Rather, be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Breathe around that. Allow it to resonate within you. Final 3 breaths here. If you're in happy baby, please just stay there, continue to breathe, maybe start to sway side to side. If you are in full frog and you are down on those forearms, let's bring our big toes together. From there, start to come back up onto the hands. And here we're going to find that nice heart opener. So go ahead and press into the heels of the hands. Make sure you're lifting and lengthening out of that low back. We don't want to compress the vertebrae. Continue to breathe here as you lift through the sternum, draw the shoulders back, a little bit of a lift to the chin. Let's take 3 breaths. After that 3rd exhale, we're going to press into the hands and we're going to tuck the low belly up and in. So you notice how I kind of lift when I do that? I'm going to do that to the point where I lift my knees away from the mat. That's going to keep me from dragging those knees in. Now let's just sit back on our heels. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. If you're in happy baby, go ahead and release from that. You can come up to a seat. We're going to move into our final postures for this evening or this practice. It might not be evening when you're enjoying this. So let's grab all of our goodies and have them close by. Our first stop is going to be a supported fish pose. For this supported fish, the idea is to get a nice heart opener while letting the shoulders frame our prop. You can place a ball between the shoulders, or you can place your block You'll place it the length of your spine. And you want it about right here, but it's going to vary with your body. And you're placing it between the shoulder blades, okay? So we're going to lie down on our props. If you have any neck issues, you're going to want to place your other block, whatever you don't put between the shoulders, you'll place that one behind your head. So I'm going to use my block between my shoulders, and I'll just briefly model the support of the ball behind my head. Make sure you have your strap about where your hip is. We don't need it for this one, but we do want it handy, okay? So feet on the floor, start to work your way back, relaxing onto the block. You may hear little puppy paws, I apologize. He's guarding the front of the house apparently. So we're just gonna relax back onto that block. Now, if it feels like it's pinching vertebrae, you're gonna want to adjust it. If you're gonna use the ball for support or the block, or you can use a cushion or a pillow here. It doesn't have to be what I'm using. So there's that option. Or the option to just let the head tilt back and allow that heart to open. My block feels a little low, so I'm just going to slide it up a tiny bit. Now when I teach yen classes, sometimes we hold this for up to 5 minutes. It feels really nice. We're just allowing the shoulders to relax back when we spend so much time rounding forward. Now with your lower body, you can find a reclined butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees out to the sides. You can straighten the legs out with the heels to the corners. You might even find broken bridge legs feel good. Letting the feet land on the outer edges of your mat. And then it's a little different with our arch in the upper back here, so we're just going to let the knees collapse to center. Arms can come out to the sides, they can stretch overhead. You might see how that feels with some gentle arm movement, straightening overhead into cactus arms. Take what you need here, breathe into it. And if anything doesn't feel good with a prop, if you don't feel like you're getting it into the right position, unfortunately through YouTube I cannot offer one-on-one assistance, but in this case you can remove your props. And you can just lie on your back, you're still going to have the shoulders falling back, you're still going to have that heart open. Another option is just to use a pillow along the spine between the shoulder blades. It can be very gentle and still get that heart opener. Deep belly breaths. Final breath here, deep inhale. As you exhale, go ahead and bring the arms by the sides if they're not already. And we're just going to roll on to one side, reach back, grab that prop, and come on to your back once more. Next stop is going to be a seated twist. So you can bring your strap and ball up by your shoulder, block can come up by the shoulder too, get it out of the way. And you can cactus those arms, lift the knees over the hips. Deep breath in. Exhale, knees fall over to the right. Now try to keep that left shoulder anchored to your mat. And you might even turn your chin in that direction. Final breath here. Next inhale, face and knees to center. Exhale, hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And go ahead and release the knees. Cactus or T the arms. Deep breath in. Exhale, knees fall to the left. Anchor into that right shoulder. Maybe turn your face in that direction. And breathe. Monstruo. No. No, crybaby. No. No, crybaby. No, crybaby. Just breathe. Final breath here. Breathe in, knees and face to sky. Exhale, hug those knees in. This time maybe bring the forehead up to meet the knees, round the shoulders, squeeze yourself tight, deep breath in. Exhale, release out long on your mat. Go ahead and stretch those arms overhead. Another deep breath in as you point the toes and fingers. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Exhale, banana pose to the right. Heels, hands, and shoulders work their way over. Keep the glutes and shoulders on the mat. And you can go deeper by taking that left ankle over the right and maybe clasping the left wrist. 3 deep breaths here. The bottom of the third exhale, release wrist and ankles. Come back to center, deep breath in. Squeeze, tighten, and lengthen. Exhale into banana on the left side. Heels, hands, and shoulders work their way over. Again, shoulders and glutes stay attached to the floor. You can go deeper by crossing right ankle over left. Possibly clasping that right wrist. Deep breath in and out. the bottom of that final exhale, release wrist and ankles. Come back to center, deep breath in. And exhale, soften into your mat. Let's walk those feet in. Once you've walked in, place the feet on the outer edges of your mat. I'm just going to wiper the knees side to side a few times. Should feel good on that low back. Stick with that deep breath. And when you're ready, come back to center. We're going to find base of bridge pose here with our feet planted firmly, heels about 1 to 3 inches away from the glutes. We're now going to take that block. I recommend the lowest setting, even if you have the most flexible spine. We're really going for some pressure on the sacroiliac joint more than a back bend. So this is more of a release posture. So with that being said, we're going to press into the heels and balls of the feet and start to lift those glutes up. We'll then slide our block under. At the top of the glutes, it's where the sacrum and pelvic bone meet. We're just going to lower down onto that. You want to feel supported here. If you're not feeling supported, if it feels awkward or as if it's pinching or poking, you want to adjust. And again, you have the option to do this part without that block underneath you, okay? Totally an option. And if you do have your strap or something to use like a strap, have that close by as well. Now you can stay right here. You don't have to go any further. But if you'd like, we're going to take it into some bent knees. Once the knees are bent in toward the chest, grab that strap and place it around the bottom of both feet, in the middle of the feet. We don't want it to pop off into your face or anywhere else. We're going to then straighten the legs, hand on each side of that strap. Now notice I have my feet, my ankles over my hips here. Monstruo, what are you doing, friend? No, go. So I am taking the strap and I'm applying pressure to the bottoms of my feet, and that is, sit, Monstruo, go sit, go, no, not right here, go sit, not in front of the camera, go sit, go sit, right there, sit, Monstruo, sit, now, oh my goodness, okay, that's fine, okay, thank you, Monstruo. So now, sorry about that, guys. So sorry. I forgot that I was recording. So we are going to place a little bit of pressure on the bottoms of the feet, and we're going to feel this as if these femurs are really plugging into the hip sockets. We're then going to just let the elbows fall by the sides. And we've been here for a moment. I hope you guys got something out of this one despite the little bit of interruption by my bestie here. Let's take another deep breath in and out. All right, you can stay just like this. You can go back to the base of the bridge, or you can bend the knees and release that strap off to the side, and then maybe straighten those legs up once more. Next option is going to be a wide leg straddle. So for this one, we're just letting the heels fall away from each other, as wide as the legs want to go. You can place the hands on the inner thighs to help open, or help weight that out a little bit, actually. And breathe. wide leg straddle, bring your hands to the outer knees. Carefully close that gap from legs up the wall. Take a deep breath in. And with the exhale, bend the knees. Slowly, simultaneously, if you can, lower the feet down to the mat. Deep breath in. And out. Inhale, start to curl up off of your block. Exhale, roll from the top of your spine down. Hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. As you release from that squeeze, cross right leg in front of left. We're going to shoelace the legs, clasp the ankles, and draw the heels into the side glutes. Breathe in and out. Final breath. As you exhale, release the ankles, stretch the legs up toward the sky, straighten them out. And then we're going to cross that left knee in front of the right. Again, shoelace the legs, clasp the ankles. Deep breath in and out. Final breath. As you exhale, release those ankles. Again, straighten the legs up. This time we're going to bend the knees. Place the hands over the kneecaps like they're control knobs. Knees come out to the sides. Then we start to bend the elbows and bring the knees into the chest, creating a circle. Straighten the arms, knees over hips. And again, out to the sides, back in. One more circle in that direction. And we'll draw the knees into the chest, then out to the side, switching the direction. Final circle. Hug those knees in. Give yourself one final squeeze. Deep breath in. As you exhale, extend out on your mat. Shavasana, heels to the corners. Body out long. Soften the glutes down. Soften the shoulder blades down. The arms fall away from the torso. In these final moments, we'll just completely release. Do not conform to the patterns of this world. Rather, be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Deep breath in. And let go. Breath in, return to your physical body. As you exhale, welcome small movements to return. Reconnecting with that physical part of yourself. Wiggle fingers and toes, circle wrists and ankles. Breathe in, stretch the arms overhead, full body stretch. Exhale, knees into the chest. And give yourself another squeeze before falling over to the left or the right side. Extending that bottom arm to create a bit of a pillow. And we'll take a moment here, soaking in the fruits of that practice. As you're ready, press up to a seat. Keep your eyes heavy or closed as you arrange your body into a comfortable position. And we'll gather our hands together, palms meeting, thumbs to the heart. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope that you gained from it peace of mind, an open heart, and a release from any emotions you may be storing in your hips. Take a deep breath in, sweep the arms out and overhead, gather from an infinite source of love and light, and bring that energy through to your heart. Meet it with a breath of gratitude, recognizing and acknowledging the power of love and light already alive and well within you. Namaste.